Put yourself in my shoes real quick. You are teaching the bass to a bass playing student. He wants to learn how to play country so he can play with his family and friends. You're like, cool. Easy goal, easily attainable, country bass, not that hard, right? You go through the basics. You hit the 1 and 5 for every chord. Bum, 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 bum. Always hit on the downbeats. You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And he learns his counts. Should be easy peasy. 1s land on the 1 and 3. 5s land on the 2 and 4. And you're like, okay, once he gets this down, he kind of knows where the notes are. With a little help, he'll get it together. He's still learning. So you ask him, all right, man, what country songs do you want to learn to play? And he says, I really like Johnny Cash. You're like, heck yeah, I like Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is good, easy country that everybody knows. It's old school country, which means that I like it more. I'm not big on new country, you know what I mean? So you say, heck yeah. What's your favorite Johnny Cash song? This will be easy money, easy for Brian, the bass teacher. And he tells me, I want to learn Ring of Fire. And I thought it would be easy. So naturally, I go print out a quick chord chart, just look it up on Ultimate Guitar, listen to the song once or twice just to get it back in my head. Not really listening like I should have been. And I sit down with him at our next lesson, and we start trying to play through it after reviewing what the chords on the chord chart are and what notes that means on the bass, etc., etc. As soon as the horns finish their first phrase in the intro, I realize I've made a terrible mistake. The song is not in 4/4. I was tricked by Johnny Cash, math rock and country music pioneer. Now, more experienced musicians such as myself might say, okay, Brian, okay, calm down. Yeah, sure, it can be a little wonky, but you're talking about a singer-songwriter who maybe didn't have a lot of formal instruction and has his own sense of phrasing, and he's going to maybe add or take away beats here or there. So it doesn't really mean that he's a math rock and country prog pioneer, right? And I stand by this because it wasn't just him playing alone on that track. He had the horn players. He had his rhythm section, which had at least a guitarist, a bassist, a pianist, and necessarily the drummer, as well as himself. And everybody was wicked consistent on the counts, as we're about to get into it. So let's just talk about what the song actually has on there. It starts with a 3-note pickup. It's a little slower than the rest of the song. And then it goes into 2 phrases on the horns. These are 2 bars of 7/4.
Love.
That's right, 7/4. Not even, not like 6/4, not 4/4 with a 2/4 bar right after it. No, it's 7/4. Then we get to the verse where it has a bar of 4/4 for the vocals because Johnny Cash isn't doing anything weird. Then for the horns, it jumps straight back into 7/4. And then it does this again, bar of 4/4 on the vocals, bar of 7/4 on the horns. And then it does this again, bar of 4/4 on the vocals, bar of 7/4 on the horns. Then it does a bar of 3/4. You could argue that maybe he rushed the phrase, but everybody only hit 3/4 notes, and then they did another bar of 4/4, which is the sort of pre-chorus transition bar, and you can hear the walk-up happen in the piano, etc.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire.
As you may now be seeing, I went through this in Pro Tools and mapped it out bar for bar, counted each beat and every bar, or every measure, as some people call it. It's weird. It's really weird. Then we get to the chorus, which is 6 bars of 4/4, which, fine. It has like its main melody hook or what have you, then the little exiting melody. But then after the 6 bars of 4/4, it then has another bar of 6/4 before going back into the bridge. I think you could argue that that bar of 6/4 is actually a 2/4 bar and then a 4/4 bar. But later we see something that kind of then argues against it, so I'm more inclined to call it a bar of 6/4. I just feel that way about it, I guess.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
The bridge is just nothing but horn phrases. It's 7/4 the entire time. The second chorus is the same as the first chorus. Why bother repeating myself that much? But where it gets really wacky is on the second verse. So it goes back to doing a bar of 4/4, then a bar of 7/4, bar of 4/4, bar of 7/4, as happened in the first verse. Then it does a bar of 5/4 before in the vocals before it goes back into the horns with 7/4. Honestly, I don't think that was intentional. I think the horns just got distracted. Maybe there's a squirrel in the distance or something. And we're supposed to start playing, and the rhythm section was just really cool about it.
The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child.
Then as it's exiting the verse, whereas before it was a bar of 3/4 and then a bar of 4/4, it's now just 2 bars of 4/4. No idea how to explain it. Just Johnny does his phrasing a bit differently, and that's how it worked out. And they also kind of throw the chord changes into some different places. Whatever, man. Instead of 7 total beats, it's now 8 total beats. It's different. They changed the second verse from the first verse. The 4/4 becoming a 5/4, I think, was just a mistake. Also, they were, doing a half again as long second verse, so whatever. But then 2 bars of 4/4, like they don't want to make it easy for us.
Oh, but the fire went wild.
Third chorus is mostly straight ahead. It does the chorus twice, so the same 6 bars of 4/4, then a bar of 6/4, repeats for another 6 bars of 4/4, then a bar of 6/4. But then as it does the burn, 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 it just fades out on the 4/4 rap. And one thing I find interesting about that, though, is that because he then just loops that burn, 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 your ring of fire, your ring of fire, he totally could have made that last bar of 6/4 just not even be there. My guess is when they're playing live, Johnny maybe cues the band like, hey, the crowd's really digging it, guys. Let's just keep on going. And they then just repeat the chorus however many more times until the crowd's had enough.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
So going back to the argument, hey, Johnny Cash wasn't trying to be, math rock and country progressive pioneer. He was just doing his thing. Well, I could kind of get it. I'm sure if he doesn't have the horns there, he's not going to hold out those phrases for 7 bars. It just probably made sense in the recording, but then he's just shortening it up. But if you have a student who's trying to learn a song by playing along to the recording, he needs to know that these bars are in 7, and that he's necessarily, instead of going, root 5th, and then to the next chord, it's going to be root 5th, root 5th, root 5th, root, and then it repeats. which is fine. It's not that big a deal. I just don't. Also, you have to give big ups to that rhythm section because of that part where the horns definitely like messed up and came in a beat late. Didn't even flinch. Well done, rhythm players. Well done. Yeah, this has been stuck in my craw now for a couple years since I got caught off guard by Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire when I was teaching a student. I hate showing up to a lesson looking ill-prepared or like I don't know what's going on with the song and actually having to sit down with that student and be like, oh, we got to count this guy out. Probably good lesson for the student to learn how to deal with songs you're not that familiar with and learn about actually like counting and seeing it happen in real time. But it breaks down my self-image. Another reason I think that this was more or less intentional, probably they had that phrase, and Johnny's like, yeah, I like that phrase. And as they counted out, it's like 8s and 7, and Johnny's like, I don't care, let's use it. There is evidence of another song where 5 Feet High and Rising was originally in 4/4, and I Hung My Head was originally 9/8 before it was rejiggered to working in 4/4. So Johnny has worked with weird time signature stuff, but clearly didn't make it a big part of his brand unless he could sneak it in so easy peasy like he did with Ring of Fire. The big thing I would say that's cool about Ring of Fire and being a sort of hidden math rock treasure is that it shows you how sneaky you can be with weird time signatures. If you put them in right and mix it up and make sure all the phrasing, etc. matches, most people won't even notice. I've actually done this with 1 or 2 of my own songs where I'm like, hey, this is going to be just a different bar here, and I have my reasons. And no one's ever been like, hey, Brian, what's going on with that? Granted, no one's going to scrutinize my songs like Johnny Cash. Anyways, that's it for me. We'll be going back to Guitar Gear, or maybe not. Hope you like the video. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, I need that for my self-esteem. Thanks. Bye.